So I actually grew up around ag. My dad was a citrus farmer, specifically commercial ag. So, you know, we were always talking about yield per acre, bricks content, sugar content, right? We were supplying Tropicana with some of their citrus. When I graduated school, I saw that the average age of a farmer was 58 years old. I don't know if I'm exactly right, but it's like around 58. So I thought a lot about, you know, like if someone were to kind of like look at the vertical as a whole, you know, what type of opportunity would there be? I ended up with, you know, looking at all these farmers market vegetables, and what I found was, you know, they're not really commercially accessible, you know, to as many people as possible. So I decided to take these farmers market vegetables and apply commercial growing techniques to them.
Back in the day when Noah hatched this crazy idea where he said, hey, you know, I really, you know, I want to bring more exciting and interesting vegetables to the masses. You know, I was the one who helped him with his initial spreadsheets and looking through the business model, and you know, I had the sort of business lens and I helped him figure that part out. But it wasn't until he really, you know, got some traction and started, you know, really moving, you know, moving things forward that I said, hey, I think Noah's really onto something here, and so I left my full-time job and jumped aboard, and you know. At that point, it was a small, you know, small family business. It's only grown a ton since then, so it's been a lot of fun.
The first vegetable that, you know, we really made popular was a vegetable called the shishito pepper. And what we did was, you know, just started growing on 3 acres, and we really built that program up. So we used chefs as these brand ambassadors. So we would get distributors all around the United States to kind of carry the shishito, right? And then I would get these chefs to put it on their menu, right? So we had, you know, consistent supply, good food safety practices, you know, the stuff that normal commercial farms would have, right? From there, I ended up using that menu data to get into retailers. So I said, look, you know, younger consumers want these accessible items. They want new experiences with vegetables, right? You know, you have your normal varieties, but no one's really, you know, taking that space and innovating with it. So, you know, in comes our brand, and you know, it's been kind of explosive growth ever since. Then this meal kit space started to happen, and we always knew that we wanted to kind of make our own version of a meal kit or a heat and eat experience. And about a year ago, we decided to open up our own fresh cut facility, which is how the Vegetable line started to come to fruition. So since nothing is as hard as farming, we saw like that the clean ingredient space like really needed to happen. So we ended up making our own sauces for the Vegetable line. For those of you who don't know what a Vegetable line is, it's basically we pair a core vegetable that's, you know, so cauliflower and rutabaga. It comes in a microwavable bowl that's actually industrially compostable, and we pair it with a clean ingredient sauce. So it's all about healthy indulgence and plant-based. So you throw it in the microwave, you know, mix in the sauce, and you're done. What's also very cool is because we've been vertically integrated ever since, you know, we can strive to make these things accessible. So depending on the retailer right now, you know, the clean ingredient Vegetable line is retailing anywhere from $4.99 to $5.99, and we obviously hope to bring that down even more at scale. So it's really, you know, it's really, because we've always focused on vertical integration, we've managed to really stay true to our mantra, which is, you know, making vegetables as accessible as humanly possible, and really getting people to just eat more vegetables in many different formats. Yeah, well, my name's Noah, so I thought it was kind of funny to, you know, like make it Arc Foods. I know that like a lot of generational farms have farm in the background, but I kind of thought, you know, I knew that because we view the vegetable as the North Star, that we would eventually kind of like spit off SKUs around that idea. So I thought it was rather limiting to kind of focus on, like, you know, the farm itself, even though that really is our lifeblood. Right. But, you know, I thought it was a really great name that, you know, kind of like was emblematic of, like, you know, who we are and what we do. What's really cool about the Vegetable line, for instance, is we thought obviously, you know, our target market would be that young person like looking for convenience and the grab and go section. But what's ended up happening, it's been kind of like a much broader market, because the older generation knows what a heat and eat dinner is, or they know what a heat and eat meal is. So they look at these, they say like, oh, it's 200 calories. I can add chicken and throw it in the microwave. I don't want to cut cauliflower or cut rutabaga and make it spaghetti. So we actually have been grabbing, a much wider data set just because, or just consumer, just because we have checked so many boxes. You have, Beyonce, who's plant-based now, and parents are buying it for their kids to take to their schools because schools have microwaves, and we have, obviously the vegan community and the plant-based community, but we have a much broader range because the price point isn't like limited to I'm only going to eat this. Like I can add chicken, I can add tofu. It's all about the vegetable and just getting people to eat more vegetables. And we don't tell people what to do with the product. We're really trying to just create products that are really flexible within your daily life. Because it's a fresh cut item, we're focusing on everything east of Texas, right? Because our facility's in New Jersey. On that item, we're in Whole Foods and Giant and stores like that. But since the shishito has been around, you can get shishitos now at Walmart, so or Costco or Whole Foods as well. So it really, because that one's been around, it's just had a larger amount of time to gain consumer kind of traction. But with the veggie bowl line, it's certainly been growing significantly, and we hope to build out a facility on the West Coast and be a national brand. But because we've been, we don't have a large capital infusion. We've been really focused on doing being vertically integrated and doing the right thing the right way. We've been focusing on consumer experience. So right now, the veggie bowl line is just east of Texas right now. When I started, it was just me, and then Ed is actually my brother-in-law. So when I was working out in New York, I was working out of his apartment, and yeah, I mean, everyone that has joined the team is super passionate about making these vegetables accessible in as many different formats, and the reason why we have our team based in New York specifically is we want people that don't traditionally view or view ag specifically in a different way, right? Like we want many different types of minds that are interested in agriculture rather than people who've been around ag. Just because we view dirt as like a blank canvas, right? You can kind of throw anything at it. And that mantra has really allowed us to have some really creative people in the industry.
We think less about what other companies and products are out there doing, and we think more about what we're doing and what the consumer wants, and how we can really bring a true, exciting vegetable, plant-based experience to the consumer. And we think that vegetables have been around forever and ever, and it's less of a trend. We worry less that there's that this is a short-lived trend, and we know the vegetables are here to stay. So we know that if we just sort of put our heads down and grow and produce great vegetable products, that people will always keep coming back, and we'll continue to grow super quickly like we have been.
In 3 years, to me, it's really about staying true to viewing the vegetable as the North Star. So we intend to kind of like create this really dynamic web of different launches of different SKUs and different eating formats, through the vegetable. And what I love about a vegetable is it's the start of the process, right? And you can create a million different things out of it, right? We have our clean ingredient sauces, that are plant-based. We have, our veggie bowls. We have, a honey nut squash and a Jimmy Nardello pepper that we grow, and a purple bell pepper. So we're always looking at ways to expand the way people eat vegetables, and I really think it's just the beginning.